Okay, so I guess we have to start.
Why not?
Okay, so good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's debate between Team Russia and China. The energy is high, the teams are ready, and we are about to witness an exciting battle of ideas.
Oh, that's very true, Kyra. You know what? A debate is not just about proving a point. To be very honest, it's about logic, reasoning, and teamwork. Today, our debaters from each team will go through 3 rounds, each testing a different skill, that is, quick thinking, strategic questioning, and problem solving.
Yeah, for sure. But before we begin, let's welcome our esteemed judges, which is gonna be Mr. UK and Dinesh Singh. So, as our judges are there in the VC.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so judges, now the stage is yours. So just give you a quick introduction to all the participants and present people.
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone. UK this side. A very good evening to all. So, today I am the judge of this debate along with my co-judge Dinesh sir. Okay. So, here I am telling about what you have to be mindful about throughout the debate in all the 3 rounds of the debate. Okay. As you already aware about some of the rules, but I am again repeating some of them. So the first rule is that exceeding the time limit, right? You must have to be mindful about this very rule. So exceeding the time limit will lead to the deduction of the marks. And this rule will be strongly, I am again emphasizing on the word strongly, applicable for the all 3 rounds, right? And as the criteria already been surfaced to the participants of the both the team, and there is a separate column of the deduction of the marks. So if you are exceeding the time, or even if you are not utilizing the proper time as well, right? In both the cases, there would be the deduction of the marks. So please be mindful about, do not exceed the time and try to utilize the proper time as well. And apart from this particular, marks deduction criteria, uh, rest of the rules you must be aware about, like try to avoid making any disparaging remark or any unpleasant remark, right? Any personal remark. Try to desist yourself taking name of any particular political party or any personal or public religious remarks, etc., etc. So these are some rules, and I'm again emphasizing there is a separate marks deduction column as already been surfaced to the participants of the both the teams under the criteria column, right? So if you are doing this sort of mistake during the all and any of the rounds, right? So there would be the deduction of the marks. And I'm not repeating the criteria because the criteria already been surfaced to the participants. So this is all from my side: exceeding the time limit, not using proper time, making any unpleasant remark, personal remark, taking the name of any particular political party again and again, any religious remarks, right? So these all things would lead to the serious deduction of the marks. And as there is already a separate deduction of the marks column. So this is from my side. All the best wishes to the participants of the both the team. And now over to you, host. This is from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, our esteemed Judge UK, for those insights. So, guys, we will begin with round one. The name of the round is the ping pong battle. Yes, even the neighborhood truck said ping pong. So this is the fast-paced round that tests clarity and argument strength.
Okay, so let me tell that how it's gonna work. So each team has a 4 participants. So I would like to announce the name of participants itself now. For the team Russia, we are having the participants Lord himself, Dalhousie, Gargi, and Ram. And for Team China, the participants are Batman, Mikasa, Srishti, and Shinigami. Is gonna Shinigami or Priyanshu? Who is here?
Shinigami. My favorite.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, speakers will alternate turns, each getting 1 minute per turn. 1 minute per turn. The cycle will repeat twice, so each speaker get two chances to speak. Each team has total of 8 minutes, making this round 16 minutes long. Now, Joker, tell them about the rules. As Yuki sir already told, but you just give a brief about that.
Sure, sure. I was thinking that, we should help them rote learn the rule, because it's very much important to uh, work this debate competition in a fair and transparent way. So the rules are that it's very simple. If a speaker finishes early, the extra time will be added to the team's total. Right. As you can see on the screen, there's 8 minutes for each team. And if a speaker exceeds 1 minute, the extra time will be deducted, and each team must ensure that all four speakers speak twice, or they will lose points. And adding to the Kaira's rules or the stuff, there will be 30 seconds provided extra, I guess, for thinking or for question, I guess. So I hope the participants are aware about that. And that was about the rule.
And yeah, I want to add that once participant is done with their speech, they are supposed to say that if Team Russia is done, they are supposed to say over to Team China. Then your timer will be stopped. So don't forget to say this. And with that, Joker, so do you think we have to start it now because it's getting late?
Why not? Why not?
Okay,
So,
so let's get
mhm.
started. So we're first up, welcome to the Mr. Lord himself from my team, Russia.
Shall I begin?
Yeah.
Yep.
A very warm good evening to all of you. This is Lord himself representing Russian Federation. Our history has proven that real power is not only about wealth, it's about security. And in this uncertain world, Russian security approach is a pillar of strength, while China's economic resistance is proving to be a failure. Looking at Russia's security approach, it guarantees protection, not dependence. In Armenia, when Azerbaijan launched an offensive of Nagorno-Karabakh, Russia swiftly mediated peace talks and deployed peacekeeping troops, which prevented a full-scale collapse of Armenian defense. Here in this case, Chinese economic aid alone would have been useless. Comparing it to China's approach, as per Stanford Report 2020, there have been more than 115 instances of loan defaults, renegotiations, and even complete bailouts of Chinese loans. This highlights the failure of China's loan diplomacy. On the quality side, Coca-Cola Sinclair Dam built by China in Ecuador was found to have 17,000 cracked after completion. So how can China even say that they are going to influence this country if they are providing them dams full of cracks, whereas Russia is providing them impregnable shields? Now over to you, Team China.
Team China, come forward, please.
Shall I begin?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello everyone. This is Srishti from Team China. China, having a history of economic downfall, poverty, famine, has now become the second largest economy with a GDP of over $14 trillion. It has come to a point of being called a global leader through its global investment, innovative policies, and a dynamic economic growth. Today, China has become a large trade partner globally along with enhanced technology, manufacturing, and renewable energy. Dealing with challenges, China's economy still has a major influence across the world, which provides supports to several nations, including Asia, Africa, and Europe continent. Therefore, I stand to support China's economic strategy as a major influence than any other nation, especially Russia. Over to Team Russia.
Team
As
Russia.
I am Dalhousie, let's start about it. As our uh, team China said that it is influencing the world, but it seems like it is more getting influenced by the world rather than influencing the world. As the tariff of increasing for its import exports to USA, constantly renegotiating its term with the other countries. Like Sri Lanka and Pakistan, rising distrust in the world facing semiconductor shortages, decreasing domestic production, aging population, These are the series of problems that they are facing while not acknowledging them. As Russia, we provide a security-based approach which is more significant and more collaborative and in a long-term and sustainable manner. Over to Team China.
Yeah, shall I start?
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
I'm Batman, and today I'm here to expose the brutal reality behind Russia's so called global influence. While China builds bridges and through economic growth and cooperation, Russia at the other side choose a path of violence and chaos. By using non-state actors like the Wagner Group, Russia is influencing and conflicts in committing atrocities in Ukraine, Syria, and Libya, and various other nations. Recently in Ukraine, we have seen horrifying massacre like in Bucha. They killed so many people, where innocent civilians are getting executed. I don't think that this is anywhere a global leadership. It's a trial of fear and destruction. But if you guys think that spreading chaos is what you call strategy, I'm curious to hear how you will defend that. Over to you, Team Russia.
As my opponent, I am Galki, and I'm from Team Russia. As my opponent told that Russia is using brutal things for its influence, then indeed Russia is using. Because topic is about highly influence, and you talk about Ukraine. Ukraine has indeed posed significant challenges to Russian military, but it's essential to consider the broader context and the complexities of modern warfare. Ukraine has received substantial military aid and support from the West, including billions of dollars. If Ukraine have solely fought the war, then I would have considered Russia's security bad. But your claim on Russia's security is completely wrong. Now, can you defend China's decision to provide $10 billion bailout to Argentina, considering that this amount represents approximately 5% of Argentina's GDP? And it's not only about Argentina, dear. Venezuela's debt to China stands at over $20 billion, which is approximately 10% of its GDP. Do you still think that China's economic strategy more effective in influencing the world? Over to Team China.
This is Mikasa.
Hello everyone, this is Srinigami. Hello everyone, this is Srinigami. So let me first point out by saying something which is very obvious. The opponent side is just going to keep on telling you that security can only be achieved through defense and through military aid. But now we live in a post-World War II world where, as per the philosophers like Joseph Nye, we have established that security has much more to do than just defense exports. And the fact that Russia has not adopted to this changing world is testament to the fact that they have disintegrated. Their policies have been an utter failure, and that is the reason why Russia is no longer the hegemony in the world, while the Chinese policy of economic independence is proving it to be the new hegemon in the world. Okay. And while Russia can claim that its policies actually lead towards interaction in the world by Nagorno-Karabakh region and all these things, but the fact remains that the Russian side were not able to prevent the conflict which Nagorno region was transpired in 2023. Their policy is now just something of the past, a relic of the past, and it needs to be let go. Over to you, Team China, Team Russia.
Okay. Hello, from the Team Russia, I am Ram. And now I will completely agree with the Shinigami when he said that security is beyond military. It includes technological security. It includes health security. It includes the security in the field of cyber security. And Russia is working on it. I would like to inform my opponents about space being secure in the technological field. Russia is actually helping countries like India in their mission Gaganyaan by providing spacecraft and training. Even being a military secure country in Russia is actually helping China in gaining combat experience through Vostok defense pact. In Russia is actually having energy security. We all know that how natural gas is being used by Russia as a soft power. And I would like to ask the question with the team Shinigami and team China that if money can do anything, why China is conducting Vostok military exercise with Russia? Why not? Why he's purchasing S-400? Over to team China. Thank you.
This is Mikasa from Team China. China has risen as the world's second largest economy, leading in manufacturing, AI, and infrastructure through initiatives like the Belt and Road. It expands global trade, builds alliances, and drives technological progress. Meanwhile, Russia relies on military power and resource export, but sanctions and economic stagnation weaken its position. While China secures influence through investment and diplomacy, China, sorry, Russia isolates Russia isolates Russia, Russia isolates itself with outdated defense strategies. The future belongs to sustainable growth, not military dominance. China's economic vision is proactive, profitable, and powerful, far surpassing Russia's defense-first approach. Thank you.
Well done, Mikasa. Well, you pointed out that Russia's energy security is not a reliable defense of it. Well, I would like to assure you by the International Energy Agency's report that fossil fuel will still account for 60% of global energy use by 2050. OPEC Plus also expects oil demands to increase to 116 million barrels per day by 2045, which is currently at 102 million BPD as of today. The total green energy transition also is a Western dream as global South struggles with high cost of green transition. So our security reserves, the oil reserves and the natural gas reserves are going to be useful for us for the coming decades. Now, you also named the BRI project. Well, BRI has faced many blows in its phase, simply by taking the example of Montenegro, where it constructed the Bar-Bolger highway, which starts from the capital city of Podgorica, and then it abruptly ends in the middle of nowhere. Now, is this the kind of projects that you're going to deliver to the countries and call it an influence? I don't think so. What do you think about it, Team China? Over to you.
Hi, I'm Srishti from Team China. A country dealing with war, having the instability and creating chaos is highly dependent on China since the Ukraine crisis is now concerned about the policies and the strategies that China is having. That sounds like a joke to me. Now, let me counter Ram's point where he said the independency of India on Russia and how Russia is helping. You see, 40% of oil export that Russia exports to China, and that is how Russia is still dependent on China. Is that how you defend yourself? Over to Team Russia.
They are not clear about the fact that it is not that they are only not dependent on China. Actually, the world depends upon Russia. When it comes to its natural resources, its arms supply, its military, and its ability to make a negotiating term where everyone is in conflict. When they talk that Russia is not adaptable, it is more adaptable than the other countries. Our security-based approach is something that provides every country an upper edge that they can't afford. It provides them a multiple dimension stability. Even when it comes to Arctic Council, UN Security Council, we prioritize our neighbors rather than putting them in chaos, putting them over in a debt trap. We provide a better and secure future, not just to them, for their upcoming future. So over to Team China.
Hey, I'm Batman, and thank you, Dalhaji, for mentioning that trap. It's a total Western propaganda that has been spread from a long period of time. Actually, the reality is that Sri Lankan death crisis was caused due to the Western loans. I'm serious, and it was 47% of the total debt of Sri Lanka. Chinese loans were just accounted only 10% of the total debt of Sri Lanka. Even if you talk about Pakistan, China-Pakistan economic corridor, there also China is helping Pakistan a lot. Like 91% of the loans that China is providing them is based upon concessional and FDI, and those loans are on not high interest rates. And basically, some reports claims that Pakistan debt crisis is due to Western institutions such as IMF and other organizations. And yes, some part also there of mismanagement from their side. Over to you, Team Russia.
I'm Gargi and I'm from Team Russia. As my opponent told that China is helping Pakistan. So let me tell you how China is helping Pakistan. China's economic project in Pakistan, Balochistan have been linked to human rights abuses, including forced disappearance and extrajudicial killing. Now, how it's going to help Pakistan, because China's economic strategy is far worse, very much worse, actually. China's economic strategy regarding the proliferation of Confucius Institute has led to growing concern about cultural homogenization, erosion of local language, and threats to national identity. There are 500 institutes in more than 150 countries like Africa and Sweden, who has raised concern about eroding the continent's rich culture diversity. Now, what's your take on this? Is China using good things for influence? Over to Team China.
This is Mikasa.
Yes.
China. Okay. China is helping Pakistan through massive infrastructure projects, economic investment, and strategic cooperation. Under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, China has built highways, power plants, and deep-sea Gwadar port, boosting trade and energy access. China has also provided billions in loans and direct investment, strengthening Pakistan's economy. Unlike Russia, which focuses on military power, China supports economic development, creating jobs and long-term growth. While some criticize depth concerns, CPEC has improved Pakistan connectivity and energy security, proving that China's model of investment brings progress, not conflict. Over to Team Russia.
Okay, hello, my name is Ram and I'm again defending Team Russia. My opponents are saying that China is actually helping Pakistan and creating global influence. But the realities are that China's debt trap policies are criticized everywhere. And we can see the example of Pakistan which they gave. The projects which were started for the welfare of Pakistan are actually filling the Pakistan into debt trap. They are going towards the IMF for the loans. Whenever there is any summit, they talk about loans, gifts, and etc. Even in the environment concerns, they can say that, oh, please give us some loans, some subsidies. That is what the reality of Pakistan, which is because of China. But I would like to highlight the concern on what Russia did. China's project was failing. The joint oil refinery project was failing in Venezuela, while on the other hand, Russia provided stability to that government, helping China's project also. Do you agree with this thing or not? Over to Team China.
This is Srinigami from Team China. So, my opponent talked about the Venezuelan economy and that Russia has somehow magically saved that economy. So, why is Venezuela still in hyperinflation? Venezuela has not recovered. It's a myth which you're trying to float in this conversation. That is the first thing. The second thing is you talk about oil exports, you talk about n number of economic developments, but that is not your policy. That comes under the economic policies as far as all the exports related to oils and minerals are concerned. So please be clear on that policies of yours. And the third thing which I wanted to point out is that you talk about human rights, you talk about morality of debt trap diplomacy and all these things. But where is your morality when you're fighting a battle on Ukraine, owing to your own approach, owing to your own security approach, which had pushed you into killings of millions of lives right now? Okay. So the thing is that the bigotry and the sheer lack of information which you guys are trying to float is just mesmerizing. And I would just like to point out that you should work on it. Thank you.
Okay, that was wonderful performance. My co-host, are you here?
I'm amazed by the intellectual conversation they were having. I felt like that why I'm having this name Joker. Like I should put some name like
Because you are Joker?
Chanakya. No, I should
Like
put
you
my
were
name like
sleeping?
Chanakya or no, I was not. Trust me. So yeah, like how about we invite like we have to invite the judge for the result, right? I forgot.
Yeah. So first of all, that was
Mhm.
such a brilliant round by the participants. They were on fire and arguments were burning bright and bright.
Mhm.
So, Joker, now you call the judges. I guess they
Are we
are
having?
gone.
Mhm.
Yeah, we are having some time with our participants and all the members who are present in VC, until and unless our judges will be back with the results. Mhm.
So, do you want to go for a debate with me? Is that what you intend now?
Oh my
I
God,
can understand. I can understand my participants have, inspired you a lot. The reason, I was very much lost
my
in the debate.
Gargi is enough for you.
Don't worry, I have my Batman and all these people, like, they all will roast you guys alive,
My
in the
only Gargi is
arguments.
enough for you.
Okay, okay, I get that.
Hmm.
So,
So now tell, do you wanna fight?
uh, I don't know, like, I'm kind of scared, but I have my Batman with me, so I'm not scared at all.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You're having guts. Appreciate.
It's not gut, my lady. It's the confidence, when you have Batman on your side.
But overconfidence is the bad thing, which you're having in you.
Are we having debate or some kind of argument now? Like, don't bring our personal argument here. It's not fair, right? Please.
It's not a personal argument. It's the truth. You
You
have
know
to
my
accept it.
you
It's
know
a
my heart is
fact.
so innocent. Okay,
Okay,
so
that's none of my business.
God, someone save me from this lady. So like, can we have the result, like the ranks of the participants? Okay.
Okay,
Oh.
so I have to ask
Mm-hmm.
some questions from all the members who are present in the VC, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm hiding in corner. I'm not taking part in your question and answer round. Sorry. Go ahead.
Come on, man. It's going to be funny questions. Firstly, you ask any question.
Mm, how was Team China? Like, are you scared of Team China now? Are you?
See, I would say कि
Tell
Team
me
China
yes.
performed
Tell
so
me yes.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Team China performed so well, but we are
Mm-hmm.
unstoppable.
You stole that word from my inbox chat, and okay, fine. Team China
Oh
is
my
always
goodness.
unstoppable. Yeah.
In your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So what's up? What's up
I'm
next?
saying
Like, we are going to ask some questions to the audience. Like, you know what? The best thing about this event is our audience. They are muted and they're like listening so patiently to your rants. I know I am talking some sense, but your rants, why? Like, they're literally enjoying it, and they're like sitting here. I salute to
okay,
their
so tell
patience.
me. So
Hmm.
the question is, guys, tell me who is sounding better, me or the Joker?
They will not talk. They will not talk.
They will
They
talk.
will not. They are
Okay,
texting me,
Prabhanjan, you tell.
Prabhanjan will take my side. But it's okay,
Prabhanjan,
Prabhanjan.
he's not.
I feel I would have participated well
Mm-hmm.
from bottom.
See, the soldier you are aiming, to fight is also not participating well. Like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's the way, Team Russia is going to perform. Trust me.
Okay, my team, please come in the ground to support me.
Yeah, they will stay in the ground only, because my team China is going to soar high like eagle. Trust me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You are
Mm-hmm.
independent at hosting. That's all.
Okay. So I guess we are ready with the results for the second round.
So it might take a little while. Meanwhile, let me ask these questions to participants. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lord himself, who is the best speaker, or who is the speaker that you liked in Team China?
In Team China, I must say it has to be Shinigami because his point size are something that I always like the point of view that he presents. So yeah, that will be Shinigami. But rest of the participants like Batman, Mikasa, and Srishti, all of them stand out in their performance. But yeah, not as good as Team Russia, of course.
Okay, again, Rosti. Shinigami, who is your best speaker from Team Russia?
Oh, so this puts me in a very bad spot because if I take Lord's name, will it be quid pro quo? Um, but well, I'll
Of
still
course, it will
Just
be
be.
tell your honest opinion.
yeah, I'll still be
Mhm.
taking his name because it's always blissful to listen to him speak. But I also loved the way Ram was speaking, and same goes for all the other participants. But well, my hope will be to disintegrate USSR once again. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Ram, who is your favorite speaker from Team China?
Okay, I will say that Shinigami's way of speaking was really very good. He was countering. On the other hand, like Batman was also really good because he was very polite and talking about to the point things like depth, that explaining it, and although he was trying really very good to lie, and he's a good liar. All the team China is a good liar. So Shinigami and Batman are very good performer, I will say. And one other participants who
Did you say good liar?
yeah, yes, they are actually. Yeah,
Okay,
if
okay,
you are in the wrong side, then you have to lie. It is a good thing. And the fourth
okay.
participant was very good in countering me, so I will say that she also did really good. Mm, Okay, okay, I think so.
All right.
Okay, guys. So
Batman.
let allow me to interrupt you guys. So I guess the results are there. Are we having the judges with us like UK and uh hello UK? Are you there? Like organizers, please check whether judges are here. We have got the results with us.
Actually, that was a tough battle, right? So let's just take some time. So meanwhile, yeah, Batman. Let's continue. Who is your favorite speaker from Team Russia?
Actually, it was. I liked the energy of Gargi, and Ram was very accurate with his points. And obviously, all as always, it was Lord. So I think all of these guys are performing very well. Yes, so I'll not name anybody, any one person. All are performing very well. So yeah, including 𝙍𝙗𝙪𝙗. He also spoke very well. So whole team Russia is performing very well.
Okay. Darky,
Yes, sir.
who is your favorite speaker? So far,
But
you have
I
Sir,
would
listened to
like to
Chinese,
say
but yeah.
Gargi is my favorite speaker.
sir,
Okay.
honestly speaking, then I haven't paid attention to how they are speaking. I have just focused on stats and all. So actually,
Oh my
everyone
God.
did very nice. Team China, best of luck.
Okay, I suppose. Fine. You may lose
So
your
sorry
points
to
to number.
interrupt. Yeah, Joker
We
and
are ready
Kara.
with the.
Yeah, please announce.
Mhm.
Okay, so Joker, you are going ahead.
Yeah, sure. I know Team China is going ahead with me. So yeah, first team will be going with us as like Gargi, Ram, and Batman and Srishti. Then second will be Lord and Dalhousie, Shinigami and Mikasa. I hope it's clear to the participants. Gargi, Ram with Batman and Srishti. Lord Dalhousie with Shinigami and Mikasa.
Okay, let me repeat it once again.
Mhm.
Gargi and Ram will go against uh, Gargi and Ram will go against Srishti and Batman, and Lord and Dalhousie will go against Shinigami and Mikasa. This is the pair from both the teams.
Okay, as our judges have carefully evaluated each team's arguments, clarity, and overall impact, so I guess Joker, now we have to begin with the round two.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, just let me tell the quick rules and which we're gonna follow.
Mhm.
One team asks a question within 20 seconds. The opposing team has 70 seconds to respond and ask a new question. This back and forth continues for 40 minutes, after which the next two pairs take over.
Okay, so for all the participants and the audience, the key things to remember is good teamwork will always earn some bonus points. The interruptions or domination by one speaker will lead to deductions.
Okay, so alright, so let's begin.
The
My
first pair is,
co-host,
yeah,
let's begin.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I'm waiting for the first pair.
Okay, so first pair is Gargi
Mhm.
and Ram.
Okay, all the
Gargi
best,
and
Gagi and
Ram is
Ram.
here, and Batman and Srishti.
Yes, we are here.
Yeah, we are present. The team Russia is present.
Team China too. Batman, you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So can we have the second round get started with the second round? The team, the first pair, Gargi and Ram. Please go ahead. Gargi, or Ram, either one of you can ask and start.
Russia. Russia. Can I start? Sorry.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Okay.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm Gargi. I'm speaking in favor of Russia. Russia is the country who has always helped its alliances, whether it's Armenia, Venezuela, or Syria. Armenia is considered Russia's oldest ally with their historic relationship dating back to early 19th century. Russia and Armenia have a strategic partnership with cooperation in defense security, trade, and energy. But what China is doing, using diplomacy, economic coercion, resource exploitation, etc., etc. China imposed a trade embargo on Mongolia in 2016 after the Dalai Lama visited the country. Mongolia's coal exports to China plummeted by 40% in 2016. Oh my god. China has imposed economic sanctions on South Korea in 2017 after the deployment of US THAAD missile defense system, and Korea exports to China declined by 10% in 2017. Now, what's your take on this? Is China influencing the world in this way?
You mentioned CSTO, that Russian group, right? I was very surprised that you same Russians could not help Armenia and Azerbaijan conflict. You could not help Armenia, and here you are very false claiming that you guys actually helped. Go and check on Google the recent reports that even Armenia and Kazakhstan is openly criticizing the leadership of Russia in this group. Basically, this group is dead. You guys are not doing anything in this group. And for your information, Kazakhstan is now strengthening its ties with China, and it is part of Belt and Road Initiative. Like a very simple question to you guys: like if Russia's influence is so positive, and why do so many former Soviet states such as Armenia and Azerbaijan seek to align with Western alliance like NATO and EU? What is the requirement? Even Ukraine is part of NATO now. Like, why do you guys require this? If Russia is this much influential? Very basic question.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, I was expecting this one only. So the CSTO is a collective defense alliance, not a guarantee of individual member states' military victories. Its primary goal is to provide a framework for cooperation and mutual support. In case of Armenia, CSTO did provide diplomatic support, but its military intervention was limited due to the organization rules and procedures. While the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict was localized setback, Russia's global influence and security capabilities remained robust, and at any case, it does not diminish Russia's global influence and security capabilities. What China did, the Mitsum Dam in Myanmar, funded by China's State Power Investment Corporation, has been criticized. The dam threatens to displace thousands of people and destroy sacred sites. Oh my God. It's not only about Myanmar, but Brazil and South Africa too reveals a disturbing pattern regarding China and its economic strategy. It's not only exploitative, but it's destructive too for the developing countries. Now, what's your take on this?
From China. It's such an irony to hear that a country dealing with war, and you are talking about security. You are taking lives of people. You are literally snatching territory from others. You are having low economy as compared to China. There's military expenses that is quite less than China. There's an economy that has going declined due to Ukraine war, and now even the dependency of Russia has been increased a lot on China. And if you talk about its dependency on European side, we have seen the Nord Stream pipeline, and of the destruction of that, how much created chaos for the Russia. There's no dependency has been left in the European side, but the Chinese side. You see how China is in the favor of Russia. Now, since you're so confident, let me ask you a question. If Russia's security-focused approach is so effective, why has its economy shrunk significantly since the Ukraine crisis? Doesn't that prove that military influence cannot sustain economic resilience? Over to Team Russia.
Oh my God, Srishti, who told you that Russia's economy is bad? Russia has provided economic aid to Belarus with $2 billion and $1.5 billion in 2013, and also helped Armenia by providing $300 million in the thermal power plant provided loan to Kazakhstan with $500 billion in 2019 and $100 million to Venezuela. Now, you tell me what China is doing, considering the Coca-Cola Sinclair Dam project in Ecuador, built by China's Sinodro Corporation, which has been plagued by 7,648 cracks in its structure, significant construction delays with a 4-year delay in completion, a pressure well collapse that resulted in 14 fatalities. Do you think that with these words, economic projects, China is highly influencing the world? Over to you, Team Russia.
Karki. First, you should be aware about the present scenario. You same Russians are dependent on China now. You guys are now exporting oil, 40% of your oil to China. That too on $20 less price in barrels because you don't have any options. Basically, Europe has totally cut your all the exports and imports, and now you're dependent upon us. Basically, you guys are dealing with yuan, our currency. 90% of the trade that happens between China and Russia is in yuan, for your kind knowledge. And if I talk about overall, it's 25%. Means you guys are using our money, that's yuan, right? 25% overall. It's not a small money that you are mentioning that you guys are giving to other countries. You are dealing with yuan because you don't have any option. You're isolated because of your policies, because of your aggression, because of your atrocities in Ukraine, because of killing people, right? Nobody is left with you. That is the reason why everybody is isolating Russia. And what was Russian past, it is not in present. What that dominance was there because of all this security-focused approach and killing people, using non-state actors for killing innocents. Do you remember the butcher killings? You killed 75 innocent families, not like humans. You just hang them and kill brutally. So I don't think anyhow it is going to help you. A very simple question to you: if Russia's strategy is so strong, why it is increasing dependence on China, strongly under sanctions? When you have sanctions, why you're dependent on China?
Okay, firstly, we are not here talking about morality that whose tanks are killing whose citizens, but we are talking about global influence, and global influence is being created. When Russia is doing their operation Ukraine, they are creating a buffer zone which is creating them more, giving them edge over NATO's capital. It is more closer to NATO's capital. They are actually getting economic boost because iron ore and coal mines are in Donbas region, creating security to heavy industry. I also want to name a pipeline. The name of the pipeline is Power of Siberia, and this is the pipeline in which China depends on. It provides the energy security of China, and in China is not energy secure. We are rising even if we are facing sanctions. But I want to remind you, when China was harassed, the companies ran away to India and Vietnam, impacting China. What alternatives China is having for Swift and Western market while securing Taiwan, its unsinkable aircraft carrier?
Srishti? Okay, so seriously, you're talking about influence while having that economy? Why don't you compare the economy first? And let me tell you, the if you talk about rare earth material, which you have so mentioned about how Russia is producing, and you see rare earth material, China is the largest producer of that. Not only that, also in green energy, electric vehicles, lithium batteries, and photovoltaic. And rare earth materials that is used in defense. So in this way, Russia is also dependent on China. Now you have seen, if you compare the economy, that $292 trillion and Russia only stand for $80 trillion. So in compared to, if you talk about the influence, Russia's influence is still, China's influence is still so much higher, that whatever causes that it negative sides it causes, Russia have to take years to get to that point where China is now. Over to Team Russia.
Okay, firstly, I want to highlight you haven't answered that what alternatives you have if the Western countries will leave your nation, you will leave China. But coming to the security, that what we are talking about, you are yourself are telling that having mineral security, having energy security is very important. Companies can run away, the economies can suffer, but whatever you have as a security will remain to you. And I also want to highlight that actually it is the Russia's heavy investment and the security in the field of technical field which is protecting Russia and also creating global influence when it comes to Venezuela, when it comes to creating intercommunication satellites in Syria. Russia is dominating, China is nowhere. China required Russia's help for its joint oil refinery which it was creating with Venezuela, and you guys have to accept it, right? Over to Team China.
I think Srishti forgot to mention, your guys' economy is smaller than Italy. I think you should not mention about economy at least. It's smaller than Italy. Why are we comparing from the giant China? Like, it's not even fair to compare. Okay, anyways, if we talk about global influence, we are doing so much. Despite global crisis, China GDP grew by 5.2%. For such a large economy, $20 billion in 2023, driven by innovation, technology, and exports. We are also leader in green energy. China is the world's largest investor in renewable energy, over 50% of global solar capacity. We are doing a lot for world, not like West, who is leaving the world organizations and such as US and other parties. You are not even funding the institutions such as Paris Agreement. US is also out, and Russia has no money to actually fund those institutions. So let's not talk about influence. My simpler question is that if Russia has this much influence, so why it is dependent upon Chinese money and why it is dealing with Chinese currency? If your economy is this much strong, why you need Chinese economy to deal with other nations?
Okay, we want alternatives from the dollar, and we actually worked on it. We are having gold reserve. We are working on local trade. We are using rupee ruble trade, and that's our mastermind, master stroke, through which we can find the alternatives of the dollar. China is not working on it. Also, I want to highlight one question you are talking about. You have five very huge economy, 17 trillion, the second largest economy. How you are using it? How bad you approach it? What about health security? You are purchasing pharmaceuticals from India. That is the land where you actually put claims, and you are purchasing the pharmaceuticals from the same land. On the other hand, it is Russia which is creating infrastructure in the field of health, creating independency. No country can harass us. We are creating cancer vaccines, we are creating COVID-19 vaccines, giving it to more than 60 countries. This is the global influence. Even with the small economy, we are capable of creating global influence. Why are you lacking China? Why not take our approach, security based approach, right? Why not? Over to Team China.
Ram, don't mention India at least. The trade deficit is of $136 billion. It's a huge money. Don't mention India in this case. The present government claims to have anti-China policies, but still that trade between India and China is continuously increasing. That is what I said, 136 billion. That is a trade deficit between India and China. So please don't mention China. Now over to you, Srishti. Here.
Okay, since she don't want to speak, I also want to ask you question. Will you accept
Wait,
our
wait,
approach
wait.
was
Let me,
superior when we actually
yeah, wait.
created a link to Crimea?
Okay, so Batman has given quite valid points. Now, let me throw a question to you. Russia's reliance on CST on countries like Kazakhstan refused to support Russia during Ukraine crisis. Now tell me why Russia can't maintain loyalty within its own sphere of influence.
Yeah. Okay, so we are actually in the alliance. We are working with the CSTO alliance, and we are providing diplomatic talk, and we are actually working on it. We worked many times, and we actually stopped war many times, and that
Excuse me,
was a
sorry to
consensus.
interrupt, but your 14 minutes is over.
Okay, guys. So, first pair, that was so awesome performance. So, Joker, are you here?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I am here
Mm-hmm.
having my dinner.
Okay, now you also again feeling that why you are having the name Joker?
Yes, like I'm like I'm back to my home after quite a few days, so yeah. Mhm.
Okay, all right.
So,
So let's.
all right, before proceeding to the second cycle, so guys, be mindful about the timer. Okay, pay attention to the timer as well. Remember, the first person will get 20 seconds to ask a question, and rest of the participants will get 70 seconds to answer and ask a new question. Okay, so be mindful about that, and I think we are good to go, good to start the second cycle.
Okay, so let's welcome our second cycle. Let's begin our second cycle. So that's gonna be Lord himself, 𝙍𝙗, and Shinigami and Mikasa. Lord himself
And
and 𝙍𝙗 from Team
mhm.
Russia, and Shinigami and Mikasa from Team China.
So this time Team China is going to ask the
The,
question.
the timer is not visible for some reason.
Yeah, let us fix that first.
Yeah, because otherwise it will be very difficult.
So just give us some time. We'll be fixing the timer.
Okay, and until I would like to tell that as in the first cycle, Team Russia began with the cycle. So for this time, Team China is going to start this round.
So before we have a timer fixed, let me remind you, now in the second cycle, Team China will start the debate by asking a question in 20 seconds. Team Russia will answer and ask another question in 70 seconds. Again, Team China will have 70 seconds to answer the question and ask a new question. Okay, check again. With 70 seconds of time to ask, to answer a question and ask. That's clear. Fine. So meanwhile, how do you feel about which round did you like? All the participants tell me. First round or the second round? Any participants?
Definitely,
Yeah,
it
I
has
think
to be the second round.
Second round. Okay. What about others?
I will say the intersection of first and second round because it is the moment we hear the host and other things.
Okay. Your vote is also for second round. Batman, Mikasa, Shinigami, Srishti,
The
Gargi.
second round. The second round is always more fun because of
Second round.
the cross questions and counters.
Okay, good.
Okay, so I'm having a question for Ram. That Ram, which point of Team China you would you like the most? Which
I
counter question you like the most?
like none. Like they were very poor in asking question. What question I was expecting is that they will ask me that, hey Ram, can you explain that how the security driven approach is more beneficial so that we can also apply it, and with very great joy I would like to answer it, but it was not happened. I guess in the next round they will say that.
Very good. Okay, so now I would like to ask Gargi, which question of other team you like most?
Okay, I just want to interrupt. Sorry for interrupting. So Patricia will be sharing her screen, so you can track the timer from there. Yeah, you can call upon the next participants, Kyra.
Okay, so the next pair, I guess they are ready and eagerly waiting. Lord, over to you guys.
Yes, Kyra. Welcome,
Okay,
Chinese counterpart. Present us with a question.
let me start with the question. If military dominance equals power, why does China, through trade and infrastructure, hold more global influence than Russia, despite Russia spending billions on its military?
Well, just like Napoleon has said that the god favors the side with the best artillery, it is always true in the case of Russia and China as well. Although China has made substantial infrastructure and investments in Africa and South America, still it has faced major blows in those countries as well. It is not having any short-term or any immediate influence in those countries. Their projects are going to take decades to even complete and commence. So I don't see any influence here immediately. All that I see is a negative publicity that I keep hearing again and again, be it Sri Lanka's Hambantota port, be it Nairobi's standard gauge railway line, be it Ecuador's Coca-Cola Sinclair Dam. All of these are nothing but just negative publicity for you guys. Your potential clients, your potential recipients are also going away from you. Now my question to your side is that China's GDP growth has fallen from double digits in the 2000 to just 3% in 2022, the lowest in the decades. With domestic economic challenges mounting, can China sustain its aggressive global investment strategy in the long run? By the way, the data is sourced from IMF report 2023. Over to you, Team China.
Very nice. It's actually very funny that you've been quoting Napoleon, who's dead and who's no more, who lost the battle of Waterloo, just like USSR is no more. So that kind of highlights the bigotry and the failure of the security approach which you're trying to portray. Now, you mentioned that 3% of the GDP is very low and all these things, but let me tell you something, Lord, that 3% of 22 trillion is hell of a lot more than even 99% of 2 trillion. Even our trade surplus was 50% of your entire economy. So let's not talk about economy for now. Okay, so now my question to you is very, very simple. Is that do you really think that going after killing people, going after an arms race is actually the way towards influence?
Well, I have always admired the Chinese mathematicians, but your math does not add up in the example that you gave by saying that 3% of 3 trillion economy is way more than 2 trillion altogether. I don't know where that came from, but yeah, anyways, come to the present. It has been 30 years, more than 30 years since USSR's dissolution. It is new Russia. And talking about our arms race, Russia has the exports of $50 billion each year to the entire globe. Our major clients are India and China also, your own country. Thanks to you. You are our major client. You're also coveting our state-of-the-art technology, namely the S400 system and potential S500 system as well. So yes, it does add up to our influence. And there are countries who are willing to buy Su-57 aircraft, and that is going to be a state-of-the-art marvel. So yes, our military export, our defense industry has been very, very capable. And even during the Ukraine war, the single factory in the USSR, the Soviet Union, actually outpaced the entirety of NATO in terms of producing artillery shells, which produced 2 million artillery shells in a single month, whereas entirety of NATO produced only 80,000. So yes, this highlights the resilience of our defense military complex. Now, the question to your side is that by 2050, one third of China's population will be over 60 years old, creating immense pressure on pension and social services. Do you think China can continue to sustain its global ambition when its domestic economy will need more focus on healthcare and elderly care? The source is UN Population Division 2023. Over to you.
Wonderful question, sir. While some of China's projects in Africa and South America face delays, it's important to remember that these investments are part of long-term strategy. China's focus on infrastructure and trade helps build stable relationships over time, something Russia's aggressive military action cannot achieve. The decline in China's GDP growth is largely due to global economic conditions, not a failure in strategy. China is still the world's largest trading partner and continues to grow despite challenges. So, my question is, if Russia's economy relies on outdated methods like military power, how can it compete with China's sustainable growth-driven approach?
Well, dear Mikasa, I asked you about the aging population in China, to which you did not answer anything, but anyways, it was a good answer. Now, coming to your question, you are saying that we are relying upon an outdated form of economy. No, it is not. Russian economy is very, very diverse. Now, coming to the other part, I have already mentioned our defense exports. Now, let's mention our energy export. They are the crown jewel of our economy. International Energy Agency project that fossil fuel will still be account for 60% of global energy use by 2050. Russia sits upon the largest natural gas reserve on the entire planet, and we're also sitting on the fifth largest oil reserves in the entire world. By the 2045, the global demand for oil is going to raise to 116 million barrels per day. This is coming from the OPEC, which is a leading organization when it comes to the oil and energy production. So our defense exports are there. simultaneously our energy exports are also there. So we are having a very sustainable economy. And thanks to the Western sanctions, why I'm thanking them is because of this Western sanctions, our economy has actually been decoupled from the Western companies and Western economies. And now Russia is moving slowly and steadily towards a more sustainable and self-sufficient economy. So in a era of crisis, we are going to thrive better than China. China, the same China whose economy is highly dependent upon West. And with the re-election of Donald Trump, now you guys going to see the fun of this game, that you are going to get these sanctions and tariffs flooded by those tariffs. And just now that we are speaking, coincidentally, just 3 hours before, as of now we are speaking, Donald Trump's regime has imposed 10% additional tariff on all Chinese goods just in this moment. So now the game is going to be really tough to you. Now coming to my question is that China's fertility rate has dropped to 1%, that is far below the replacement rate of 2.1%, and its workforce shrank by 41 million between 2019 and 2023. How will China continue financing massive overseas projects when its aging population is reduced its domestic productivity and economic output? That data is coming directly from your sources, that is China's National Bureau of Statistics 2024. After this, 𝙍𝙗𝙪𝙗𝙗 will continue from my side. Now the question is to you, Team China.
Very nice, Lord. So first of all, you mentioned that that Western sanctions have actually decoupled your economy from the West. So let me just tell you that we are the ones who footed your Western decoupling. We are the ones who take 60% of your oil imports just to make sure that you are able to fund your war. The second point which you mentioned was about the energy which you're trying to export as a part of security. But let me tell you something which is very important, which you probably missed. Energy does not come under security. Energy is a part of economic manifestation. So that's not in your favor. It's actually a point in our basket. The third thing which I wanted to say was that you mentioned that 50 billion is your trade account. Then let me just tell you that $1 trillion is our trade profit, not account. It's our profit. Now, I want to try to answer your question. The question was about the age and the demographic winter, which China is going to see. So the thing is that we have had the might and the intelligence to boost our economy to $22 trillion when our demographic dividend was in place. And now it's a very natural course for any country to then proceed into a demographic winter. But our economy is so strong, our economy is enough to safeguard and question the response. And actually, we are right now transitioning. We are making some economic reforms, which is going to boost and transition into us into the future. It is because of our model that we are able to develop the sixth gen aircraft this month only. That is, I think, 30 years down the development for any Russian tech. Now, my question to you is very simple. You talk about economic might. You talk about how economic might is something not important for you, and defense exports and all these things are your primary concern. Then I just ask you one simple thing: how can you make defense without the Chinese rare earth elements? You cannot do it. We have the hegemony in it. We make 90% of the rare earth elements, and we export it to you. You don't have any other sources. We do it. We give it to you. Over to you, my
Uh,
team, opponent team.
okay. See, there's a difference between logical and delusional. When you say that you control the entire 90% of the critical minerals, you just don't control it. You just import it from that country and refine it and sell it. When it comes to that terminology, we can also do it. It's not like that the world was not developing when China was fencing sanctions. Okay. So it's like a delusion agreement that you are making, that the world can't grow or Russia can't develop its critical technologies without your support. In fact, we have more resources, and with rising Arctic's, with melting Arctic, we will have more access to all those resources which are coming and making our countries much more self-dependent rather than relying on you. And you need us, we didn't need you, because when you are refining our oil and you are selling it to the West to earn money while your economy was slowing down. My question to you is, how can China maintain a long-term economic influence when a government of its recipient country frequently change or may reject its past agreements?
So my answer is very simple. First of all, let me just state it out once more so that you can hear it very clearly. Our economy has pushed up. We have reached the target we were aiming for in the past 20 years. Okay. And now, even if we are having a 3% growth, that 3% growth is more than 99% growth rate for a 2 trillion economy. Okay, no matter what carols you're singing here, trying to show that somehow just because we're having less growth and we're not able to sustain it, we're having a demographic winter, then you'll magically try to match our number. That is not going to happen. No country in the world is going to match the Chinese economy for the next 3-4 decades, 40 years. Okay, so and lastly, I would like to say something by Joseph Nye. Joseph Nye is a philosopher who has tried to analyze the deficiencies of a defense related security approach. He basically highlights that it leads to an arms race and culminates into a security dilemma where countries actually end up warring, and which is never the right thing to do. He actually equates that it leads to the drop of a hegemon by overstretching into an economy. Okay, so it's very, very clear. You guys have failed. Your country has dissociated. You are no longer the union. You're no longer the person you were 4 or 5 decades ago. You're now just a tiny peck in the international world order and supported by us. We are the people who give you money. We're the people who sanction all your wars and everything. So you don't have these things. Now, my question to you is very, very
So
simple,
my question to
and that
you,
Mikasa is going to ask.
so why would we support a strategy that prioritizes military power when economic growth and global cooperation have proven to create more sustainable success?
So when you say that military-based approach, I think, assuming that we are going and dropping missiles to the enemies of our allies country. It's not like that. When we talk about a military-based approach or security-based approach, we include training program that we provide. We include external additional assistance, priority in deal that we are talking about. You are confusing with the term that when we talk about military influence, you think that we are just going and bomb the enemies of our allies. And now my next question to you is, if China is a long-term project outlasts its political cycle, how can it ensure continue when its new government may reject or renegotiate agreements?
Okay, wonderful question, sir.
Mikasa, you're audible. You can speak.
Okay, that was amazing performances by both the teams. Joker, are you here?
I am here.
So
So,
what would you like to say about Team Russia?
oh, I am sorry, like I didn't hear Team Russia, but ठीक है, they were doing really good. I'm in love with my team China.
Fine. Okay.
Mhm,
Anyhow,
mhm. Jokes apart,
Team Russia and Team
jokes
China.
apart, the team
Mm-hmm.
from both sides were, fireballs, like the wildfire, burning the VC and burning everyone. And I was like, amazed that why we all are not participating in this debate. It was so insightful. It was so
Yeah,
sarcastic. It
they
was
are
so
not
funny,
just
right?
debaters.
Yeah.
They are debate rock stars. They are
Wow.
just rocking, rocking, rocking.
I enjoyed this conversation. It was so insightful as well. I learned a lot of stuff because of them. So thank you guys for bringing all those points and all those sarcastic comments. It was so funny. So yes, Kyra, over to you. Like, what should we do now? Like, what do you think?
We have to go with the round 3.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you introduce about the round 3 first, then I will add.
Okay, so round 3 goes like, it's actually a scenario-based response. Like, we have seen powerful arguments, till so far, and quick thinking of the participants. It was really amazing for me because I love listening you guys, and love you all for this. And the time is now for the round three, which is the scenario-based response. Over to you, Kyra.
Okay, so in this round, each team select two spokesperson who will give a real world scenario. They will have 4 minutes to analyze and present their response on that. So now I would
Hmm.
like to ask
True,
from my
and
team, Russia, that who is going to be the two spokesperson from your team? And
From
meanwhile,
my
China also decide.
hmm
Yeah, Kyra. From Team Russia, I, Lord himself, and Dalhousie will be the spokesperson.
hmm
Got it.
what about
And
Team
from
China?
On our
Hey, Team
side,
China. Hmm
it's me, Batman, and Shinigami.
Okay, all the best. So before we move ahead with the event, let me tell you the judging criteria for this round. Number one is how relevant and practical is the response. Number two, how well the speakers are coordinating. The two speakers are coordinating. And number three is the argument clear and well structured? Khaira.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I'm having right now the scenario-based question from Team China for Team China. So China team, are you ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Okay. So listen your question carefully. China and Russia have increasingly strengthened their strategic partnership, particularly in response to US global influence. How to assess the partnership in the light of current geopolitical climate? And what do you see as the potential risks and rewards for China in deepening ties with Russia? I'm going to repeat it.
Can you repeat your question? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Ma'am, you're not audible properly. Can you please speak louder?
Okay. China and Russia have increasingly strengthened their strategic partnership, particularly in response to US global influence. How do you assess the partnership in the light of current geopolitical climate? And what do you see as the potential risk and rewards for China in deepening the ties with Russia? Is the question is clear or I have to repeat it again?
Yes, the question is clear.
Okay. Okay, so I would like to repeat that you guys will get 4 minutes to analyze and present their response. So take your time. Okay, so start, guys.
So, first of all, the thing is that our country and the Russians, we are basically the most vehement pillars of the eastern side of philosophies, of the eastern sides of geopolitics.
Shinigami, you're not audible.
Is Shinigami audible?
No, he's not audible. Hey,
Okay,
Shinigami.
so I'll continue from here.
Okay.
So we can see China and Russia's partnership has strengthened in recent years, largely because of the counterbalance to US dominance. Okay, so now the world is somewhere moving towards a unipolar world order that will be not led by US now. So, however, partnership between Russia and China is complex, and both comes with risk and rewards for China. So, with in history, we both countries have seen a shared operation from U.S. influence, like China and Russia has opposed the US dominance in global politics. We both are promoting the multipolar world where power is distributed, especially in the South Asian region. Even India is coming out as a global superpower. So now the power is not limited and constrained with US. So in if you remember in February 2022, before the Ukraine invasion, China and Russia declared a no limit partnership. Uh, that was about cooperation across economic, political, and military dimensions. So somewhere we both need to balance against US alliance. Like US has strengthened its ties with some of the organizations like NATO, Quad, where US, India, Japan, Australia, and some other organizations like AUKUS, where US, UK, Australia is there, to contain China's influence in Indo-Pacific. In response, what China can do is China can align with Russia to help to divert US attention and resources globally. Basically, they can form alliance. And the potential. Okay, yeah, Shinigami, please continue.
So some risks are involved with with partnering with the Russians, and that is that we do face a threat of increased pressure on our economy because we are actually putting the war bills. There's some risks as far as the sanctions are concerned, which will be perpetuated by the new US president. But we're not very worried about it. But yeah, it is going to require some policy framework from our side about countering them. But it does come with a lot of rewards. The first and the foremost reward is that we're going to set up the alternative to this hegemony of the UN floated by the US. We, along with Russians, are building BRICS institutions, the contingency reserve funds to counter the IMF, the New Development Bank to counter the World Bank, and all these things. And this is going to offer a lot of scope for the developing countries to engage with the Western side. That is, I think, the biggest reward. And the risks are less as compared to the rewards are concerned. And I think it is because of our economic might that we are able to achieve these things. And we will be continuing to do these things in the future, countering the West and proving our economic might. Thank you.
Okay, so that was a wonderful response by the team China. As it's a Joker's team, so obviously you guys are going to rock. So Joker, now you please ask the question from Team Russia.
Okay, sure. So, Team Russia, all the best. The question for you is: a recent Russian drone attack in Sumy, Ukraine, resulted in the death of 9 civilians, including elderly couples. How does Russia respond to international condemnation of such attacks, and what measures are being taken to prevent civilian casualties? I repeat, the scenario, that is, a recent Russian drone attack in Sumy, Ukraine, resulted in the death of 9 civilians, including elderly couples. How does Russia respond to the international condemnation of such attacks, and what measures are being taken to prevent civilian casualties? All the best.
Yeah, thank you, Joker. You can start the timer. Well, as for the recent casualties that were committed in the Sumy of Ukraine, Russian government has its long-standing commitment to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which also involves that no civilian casualty should be done intentionally. What happened was regrettable and was very unfortunate, and we as the Russian government are actually very, very condemning this thing. But what happened was not done out of deliberate intention. It happened as a collateral damage of war. Although we always refrain from attacking civilian sites, but sometimes it happens when the war zone country is in the residential area of a country. It sometimes happens, although it is highly regrettable. We are in no way shy from admitting our mistakes because these mistakes can be made by any country. But this cannot be used to target Russia as a human rights violator because we are the ones who have a long-standing record in terms of following the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and also the Geneva Conventions. So in no way Russia can be targeted in this regard. And as for our defense, this is the only thing we are also willing to extend our financial help or any other sort of help that we can to the Ukrainian people, as the war has come to end already. It is the war will be coming to end with the Donald Trump's regime forcing Ukrainian leader, the Vladimir Zelensky, to actually come to the table for the talks, which he has been avoiding for so long. Now with that, we are even ready to offer the financial aid for the people who suffered the heat of this war. But when it comes to securing our interest, we will go to any extent, be it deploying our soldiers on the grounds in the other country, be it Ukraine or be it any other country. So Mother Russia will be protected at any cost. But yeah, for the civilian casualties, Russia will never ever be shy from apologizing and for accepting its mistake when there are genuine mistakes. So this is the response of Russian government to the global community, and we still again affirms our long-standing support to the Geneva Convention and the human rights. Now over to Dalhousie.
On extending Lord, our leader, I will say that this technology that you're talking about, drone, is new to every country and they are still working on it and improvising it. The casualties that happen, we regret it and we promise that something like that will never happen intensely, but we can't. But when it comes to a mistake, that is something natural mistake and no country is immune to it. Even when it comes to a safest approach like developing, working, or running a self-driving car, Google or Apple, they face such same issues that they run over an elderly person. So when this type of thing can happen, we can say that in a war situation where situations are more complex and more troublesome, we we can't guarantee that there will be no loss to civilian lives. But when it comes to admitting it, recognizing it, and telling the world that we committed this mistake, and in future we will acknowledge it and try not to commit or try to improvise our technology with time to time collecting data over it. So we can say only one thing, that no country is immune from such acts. Such things are going to happen. Even any country try to make its a weapon much more and better secure. But these are something that is a part of a war, and rather than sighing from it, we should acknowledge it and try to improve it, and not to and make sure that any time that war will happen, it will be away from the civilian zone, so that no such thing happen in future. Thank you.
That was so wonderful, Team Russia. So, Joker,
Yeah, Team China and Team Russia both were good, and I guess uh, we are having.
okay. So now we are concluding our today's debate over here. A big thank you to all our
Okay,
contenders up
wait,
to
wait,
there.
wait a minute, host. Wait a minute.
Please hold on.
Actually, please
Oh,
wait a minute.
okay.
Yeah,
Yes, UK, please.
actually, actually, there is a twist. Uh,
You guys
as I
make me
am,
scared
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
already.
my God.
mhm,
Another twist? Okay.
yeah. So as I am being instructed by the organizer, there is a twist in the debate now. So, you guys are not basically aware. Host, participants, mentors, nobody is aware about this twist, right? So that's why it is the twist. So the twist basically is one question will be asked to each team, right? To the team Russia and team China. But what they have to do, the participant will not be giving the answer. Their mentor will not be giving the answer. They have to find a person on the behest of which their team would be giving the answer. Let me repeat it again. Suppose that I am asking one question to the team Russia. No participant will be giving the answer. They have to search a person out of the BC or in the VC or from anywhere else. The person would be giving the answer on the behest of that team only. But the person would not be any of the team member, their mentor and the host as well. Host will not be giving the answer, right? So they have to find a person and they will be given 1 minute only to find the person. And if it is possible, so that person can give the answer on the behest of that particular team. Is it okay for the team participants, or if any confusion is there, so you can ask me again?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sounds quite funny, but can one team ask from the opponent team members?
No,
Any of the
I
members?
will ask the
Okay.
question. I will ask the question to Team Russia, and then I will follow the Team China, right? So I will ask the question first to the Team Russia, and anyone from the VC can give the answer on the behest of the Team Russia, right? So participants are not supposed to give the answer. So now,
Okay.
Team Russia, you can ask to any person here on the VC or apart from the VC, from anywhere else across this universe, to give the answer on the behest of your team.
Yeah,
Are you
thank you,
ready?
Judge UK. Team Russia will have Satyaprakash Mishra as its spokesperson.
Okay. So Satyaprakash Mishra, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So Team China, please find out your partner as well to give the answer for your team. So I am going to ask the question to the Team Russia first, and Satyaprakash Mishra is going to give the answer on the behest of the Team Russia. So my question is, Satyaprakash Mishra, as Russia is being, alienated by the Western world, right? They are out of the international SWIFT system, right? Going through ample number of the sanctions. So Russia is getting economically weaker as they being ostracized, right, out of the world. So if you are not economically strong, how you can maintain your security dominance across the globe in the longer run? So this is my simple question.
Okay. So I have to start answer, okay?
Yes,
So
sure,
I
please
think
go.
if you are going to see it from the multiple point of view, you will get to know that security is one of the big concern for any specific country. In context of Russia, geographical region of Russia is one of the most biggest geographical country in the world. In context of resource also. So in context of Russia, the wealth creation is not the big problem because different part of the country want to have the resource. In order to achieve resource, they such as oil, petroleum, gas, and multiple things. They have to rely on the Russia. Even if you are going to talk about one of the biggest supplier of the gas and the oil for the China is the Russia. For the India, it is emerging market. And for the European country too, if you are going to see the pipeline first and second through which they were getting the profit. So Russia is not going to get problem because even the population of that country is not done more than 5 to 6 crore. So problems would be not in context of Russia because the multiple countries are ready to get the opportunity what exactly that country is having. Even in context of the technological advancement that country has shown in the field of providing the weapons and all the stuff. Even if you're going to talk about over the period of time we are witnessing that the polar regions are because of the climate change, the comfortable environment is coming from the Russia, where the theory which has also come is giving the favor to that a country is going to dominate, which is going to have the more resources. The same thing is applying in context of Russia after even the fragmentation of 1919 when the USSR has broken down. And right now it is giving a very comfortable environment where the melting will take place, and that will open the door for Russia to get more opportunity, to get more resources in the zone of the northern region, which is going to be navigable for the whole lot of the year, and the connectivity would be more smoother, and the country is going to dominate because the opportunities in the table for that country. So problems would not be only for Russia because that multiple countries are ready to buy what exactly that they're having with. So I think so. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Satyaprakash.
Thank you.
That's from Team Russia. Yeah.
Yeah. So Team China, are you ready with your participant to answer my question?
Yes. Can Saku answer from our side?
Saku. Okay. Saku, are you there?
You'll have to probably unmute her.
Okay. Please unmute Saku, please.
Yeah, I'm here. Am I audible?
Okay. Yes, you are perfectly audible. So Saku, are you ready? I'm going to ask you the question, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you are supporting the Team China, so my question here is, you might be aware about the internal economy of the China. Their internal economy is most probably rely on the real estate sector that is supposed to be the backbone of the China, right? But see the situation of the real estate sector. Two biggest real estate giant, Country Garden and Evergrande, file the bankruptcy. Demand is very less. Even their own people are raising question outside of the project that has been run by the China, supposed to say Belt and Road Initiative. And we everybody know that they are that trade policy. So they are facing the internal economic challenges and as well as outer as well. So how do you think that in a longer run they are going to sustain their economical influence if their own economical situation is not good?
Can you please repeat the question in because I
Okay,
was
let me make it simple. Let me make it simple. Okay, I'm going to make it simple. China's internal economy is not doing good. If you see the GDP growth rate of the China, that is, more or less stagnant, less than 5% for last 5 years. The backbone of the Chinese internal economy is real estate sector. So most of the real estate giants have filed a bankruptcy. The demand is very less. So how will they maintain their economic influence in the longer term then, if their internal economy is at the brink of threat?
I don't think it is that true because the sector also contributes in employment, and employment is higher in that sector. So I don't think that sector is causing any bankruptcy and less demand. Also, there are so many even the government revenue. If I say government revenue is also significant high from the land sales. So I don't think it is we can say that because of real estate, China is going in bankruptcy.
Okay, thank you, Sako. Thank you. And this was from my side. So over to you, host now.
Oh, that was a beautiful battle,
How was
and that was
how was the
that was
surprise,
surprise.
guys?
Wow, Kyra was asking me that what's happening, like why we are not aware about this.
Yeah, I was
So
about to put my dinner in my plate,
Mhm.
and suddenly they were like, "Stop, stop, stop."
Exactly. So it was very beautiful to, include people outside the participant list, like Satya Prakash and Saku. Thank you guys for participating. And I'm literally amazed, like, with the twist and all this stuff at EL. But yeah.
Okay, let's ask from
Mhm.
our team, how was the surprise?
It can I answer?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. And I think that it was really very exciting. I got scared that how we will bring the participant or something. So that was really very surprising. But now I'm worried that what will happen to the capitalist side? They are already aware of this twist. Will there be some other twist for them?
I think this twist is enough.
It will be, informed with time. So, Kyra, what do you suggest? Like, what are we supposed to do now? Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Kyra, are you trying to play with some Ouija board? Like, I can hear that you're trying to, call some, summon some ghost to support your team.
I guess my team rocked. My team nailed it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm just having only one thought in my mind is Russia, 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 and they are unstoppable.
Yes. Sometimes when we don't believe something, we have to chant it. We have to, kind of make ourselves believe. We fake it till we make it. It's okay. It's okay. It
We
happens.
make our mark.
Mm-hmm.
We make our mark and leave a
Mm-hmm.
lasting legacy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes you should fake it.